to The Hypnotist, the show that gives you inside access to cutting-edge hypnosis with real clients facing genuine issues. Brought to you by the hypnotherapist demanded by celebrities, CEOs, and even royalty, Adam Cox. These recordings took place live from Adam's clinic in London's world-famous Harley Street. So, get yourself comfortable and enjoy today's episode of The Hypnotist.
I am so excited for this spa day. Candles lit, music on, hot tub warm and ready. And then my chronic hives come back. Again, in the middle of my spa day. What a wet blanket. Looks like another spell of itchy red skin. If you have chronic spontaneous urticaria, or CSU, there is a different treatment option. Hives during my next spa day? Not if I can help it. Learn more at treatmyhives.com.
And this hypnosis session has a couple of different parts to it. One is this element of suggesting that they make behavioral changes to things that could impede their ability to sleep all the way through. So that's having a meal and a final drink of the day early, emptying their bladder before they go to sleep, but also having the suggestion that if they were to wake up and their intuition is encouraging them to wake up, that actually they could be grateful for their intuition doing that, and actually have the key suggestion that when they then return back to their bed, they're going to sleep even deeper than they were before. And that's partly linked to a hypnotic phenomenon called fractionation. Fractionation is where you ask the client to close their eyes, feel relaxed, open their eyes, notice how they feel, and then close their eyes again. And each time they close, it takes them deeper relaxed. So we're just mapping that across to this client. So rather than being annoyed at themselves and being frustrated that they're waking up mid-sleep, it's kind of like, oh, thank you, intuition, for waking me up. That's better than, peeing, and being caught short actually in the bed. They go to the toilet, they return, and then fall asleep even deeper. There's a version of this where you can listen and awaken at the end, but the way it's phrased is that if you are ready to drift off into that deep sleep, it just extends at the end. So when I count from 1 to 10, rather than awakening, it encourages you to go even deeper asleep. So if you like sleep hypnosis and occasionally you wake up to go to the toilet, you'll benefit from this. And if you really do have nocturia and you wake often to go to the toilet, then you'll especially benefit for this. At the same time, it was created for an individual. So if some of the suggestions aren't quite right for you, it's because it was correct for them and may not be suitable for you. So if you do like the idea of working with me directly and then having a session entirely created for you, check out the link in the description where you can book a free consultation call, and then we'll have a chat. And it might be that we end up working together and I build a session specific to your circumstances and what's right for you. For now, though, find a quiet, comfortable place where you won't be disturbed, relax, and enjoy the session. Take a deep breath in, and as you breathe in that slow, long, relaxing breath. And as you exhale, give yourself permission to release any stress, worries, frustrations, or tension, allowing it to leave your body in your outward breath. And when you breathe in for longer. And as you exhale, allow yourself to extend that outward breath, breathing perhaps twice or 3 times as long in that outward breath And as you empty your lungs, your diaphragm awakens, enabling you to breathe in even deeper than before. And notice with your eyes closed how much easier it becomes to focus on the sound of my voice. Breathing in relaxation, exhaling tension. And scan your body for any clues of tension, perhaps around your jaw, your forehead, your neck or your shoulders, but also somewhere else, maybe somewhere in your torso, your arms or your legs. And every time you breathe out, set the intention to just let go, enabling you to feel like you're drifting deeper and deeper relaxed. And if you need to position your body in such a way to feel more comfortable, then just allow yourself to make yourself even more comfortable now. Taking a slow breath in and a long breath out, allowing each exhale to be a vehicle to release anything emotionally that you don't need. That's right. Each breath helping you feel a little calmer, a little more relaxed, as if the muscles of your body are just melting away any tension. Feel every release, every gentle moment of relaxation. And I wonder if you could imagine staring out of a window, and the window can change. Sometimes it might be a cityscape. Sometimes you might see cars, or you might see clouds, and perhaps even people walking by. Allow it to shift from city to nature, to hills and forests, to the coast and the sea. This window allows you to see whatever feels relaxing and comfortable. And I want you to get a sense that this time here is time just for you. And I want you to imagine what it would feel like as you look out of the window, to imagine being somewhere comfortable, safe, and secure. Allow the window to show you a sanctuary. And as I count down from 5 to 1, you will imagine drifting to that sanctuary. And right in the center of that sanctuary is your own bed. And I want you to feel a sense of connectedness, gratitude, even love for that bed. But now look through the window, and 5 float through, 4 drifting toward that sanctuary, 3 getting closer, and then 2 arriving there in that sanctuary, and then 1. Just imagine seeing your bed, dressed exactly how it is. Same number of pillows, same duvet, same sheets, same frame. And I want you to imagine climbing into that bed As your body sinks and relaxes into the bed, allow your mind to drift off into what you can imagine would be a dreamlike sleep. And I want you to imagine you've found an evening ritual. It doesn't have to be a big ritual. Perhaps a small ritual, a signal to your body and your mind that now is the time for rest. Something you might not do in the morning, but you could do in the evening. And perhaps it is just as simple as looking out of a window, noticing the nighttime. Or maybe it's taking long, slow outward breaths. And sometimes people do things not for the thing, it's just a way of activating their breath. But you figured out that the breath is all you need. And as you imagine taking those long, slow outward breaths, imagine feeling your body winding down, adjusting to a new frequency, a frequency of rest and relaxation rather than alertness. Just feel your body relax more and more with each exhale. And let's try this now. I want you to imagine that when you breathe in, you start to engage or tense the pelvic floor muscles. Breathing in, tensing. And as you breathe out, you just release. Letting go. You are strengthening the muscle and relaxing the muscle. And let's try that again. Breathing in and tensing the pelvic floor muscle. And as you exhale, release. Feeling that wonderful sense that you are dovetailing outcomes, strengthening and relaxing at exactly the same time. And whenever you do this, you could set an intention. An intention could be to strengthen, or it could be the signal to get ready, to communicate in advance that it is now time to prepare for sleep. And just feel that rhythm of awareness and release, like you're teaching your body to relax deeply, to feel safe, to feel ready to sleep. And as you enter that dreamlike sleep, I want you to dream about feeling empowered to make small, useful changes that support even more that deep, restful sleep. And maybe that's choosing to eat earlier when possible, or the last drink of the day being earlier in the evening. And what if part of your ritual to really send a message to your body that you're ready to sleep is that cathartic emptying of your bladder fully right before you go to bed, sending a message that it's fine to sleep now. And what if these small actions, repeated each evening, become a stack, a chain reaction, become part of the ritual, the signal to your body that it's time to rest, and it feels natural, easy, automatic. Allow your unconscious to update those internal rhythms. Your ancestors didn't have alarm clocks. It was the sunrise and the sunset and their rituals that let them knew when to sleep and when to awake. And I want you to feel that every now and then, your intuition may prompt you to awaken briefly from your sleep and to go to the toilet. And if your body ever signals there in the night to rise and release, rather than being annoyed or frustrated, I want you to feel that you can trust your intuition, to know exactly when is the right time. And as you empty your bladder completely, get a feeling that when you return to bed, you feel lighter, more comfortable, but even more cozy than before. Almost as if each time you wake and return to sleep, going back to sleep takes you deeper into sleep than before you awoke. Consider it a form of fractionation, where paradoxically, each cycle of waking and then resting actually helps you drift into an even deeper, more powerful, more rejuvenating sleep. Consider that whatever happens, you're happy. If you have an entire night of sleeping without needing to rise and release, you can be grateful for that long, uninterrupted sleep. But if you happen to be nudged by your intuition to rise and release, I want you to be grateful that you have such a powerful intuition, and also to be grateful for the even deeper sleep you will experience when you return, so that even the interruptions become part of the deepening process, helping you sleep better than ever before. And in that dreamlike sleep, in that bed in your sanctuary, I want you to imagine seeing yourself, perhaps even tomorrow, waking refreshed with more energy, clarity and calm, more aligned, more connected. Allow your body to know that tonight and every night, your body is learning, adjusting, finding its natural rhythm of rest, empowered by your habits, soothed by your ritual, and restored by your deep and peaceful sleep. Very soon I will count from 1 to 10. And if you're listening to this at a time when you don't want to sleep, when I arrive at 10, you will awaken. But if you're listening to this in an environment where it's safe, useful, and desirable to drift into that wonderful, rejuvenating sleep, well then, as I count from 1 to 10, it will simply take you even deeper relaxed, helping you to drift into that wonderful, relaxing, intuitive sleep, starting to count 1, 2, 3. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Thank you so much for joining me on today's episode of The Hypnotist. And if you've enjoyed today's episode, I would encourage you, if you haven't already, to hit the subscribe button or follow button to make sure that you're automatically notified of any future episodes that I release. Also, by doing that, it lets the algorithm know that you like this show, and that will put it in front of even more people that might not know that this show exists. So that would be helpful for me. And if you like the stuff that I do, take a moment just to have a look in the show notes or the description, because there's lots of free things that I have to offer, including free hypnosis downloads without the intro or the outro like I'm doing now. So thank you again for joining me on today's episode, and I'll see you again soon for the next one.